What's up, guys? Alexander here, High Winds EDC. I'm back, man. I am here, gonna come at you guys with a full review of the CRK, Chris Reeves Knives Umnumzaan, or as it's slowly and surely becoming known as, the Zaan. That's right, guys. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, it has taken me a long time to get this review articulated in a manner to you, the people who watch this, in a way that I feel is accurate, because there are plenty of reviews, there are plenty of forums talking about this particular blade. It's been on the market for a long time, and how can I present this knife and a review to you guys who pretty much know what's going on in the community, what's going on with Chris Reeves Knives. You guys know what's going on with this stuff. How can I present it to you in an authentic version and really make it my own? So we'll get into it. But before that, I'll do a little bit of a pocket check. Today was a very special day, new knife day. We have the Pena X Series Apache in a slip joint. This is a Knife Center exclusive. And it's being carried with the Tale of Knives Bandit with the Fisher Space Pen. And then as the primary blade, I have the Spyderco Slush Buoy and car keys with the Glow Rhino key fob. And of course, EOS chapstick. I get a lot of flack for this in one of our group chats. It's not a ball, guys. They make a lipstick version of it. Really love this stuff. Putting it on right now. There we go. So, Chris Reeves Knives Umnumzaan. For those of you who have never handled a Chris Reeves Knives, this is a packaging you can expect. It's really cool because it says Crucible CPM, so you know you are getting a high performance material when you get this knife, at least the blade steel. It comes in this awesome box. You take it off. Whenever I got it, it looked like the cloth was a little used, but I don't mind at all. I don't really use cloths too much. I carry an old one for wiping down my glasses. You have your certificate of authenticity. So it'll show like this: Umnumzaan, CPMS 45VN, Tonto. The handle material is at a 6A 4V titanium, and the birth date you'll see is September 15th, 2021. So that is cool. You'll get something like this. This is made out of really nice parchment paper or cardstock. So it says Umnumzaan, and here's how to assemble it. Here are the parts required for it. Let's see. This is just kind of like a registration ticket, which is cool. And then of course you have a CRK sticker, decal that you can put on a car or on a water bottle. Yeah, gives you a timeline of the Chris Reeve Knives' awards and stuff like that. And then inside it you can pause here and read that. Just its prestige in the blade show. And then on the inside of the box further still, you have, it comes with, I'll take out some parts and stuff. It comes with these 3 screws that you will need to disassemble. These Allen keys, they're 1/8 of an inch. And then I don't know what the smaller one is, but you'll need these in order to disassemble the knife. The fella I purchased this from, I got this on the secondary market. I think he went ahead and got an extra spacer, back spacer, and you have to get that little bushing in there as well. Then comes with grease and Loctite. This guy also, this is a replacement. I have a replacement lanyard. There's the original that comes with the knife. And then of course you have a couple of extra O-rings for the thumb stud. So yeah, that's what to expect whenever you purchase a Chris Reeve knife. You know, if anybody tries to sell you a Chris Reeve knife for full retail price and they don't include anything that's in this box, you know, call them out on it. Or that's also a good way for you to know, you, the person, to know that you have something legit. It's not a clone or a copy or anything like that, or whatever. Sorry, my stand isn't too stable. So let's look at the knife. Folded, this is a pretty hefty knife. I'm gonna give you guys a good size comparison here in a little bit, but here is the knife. You're gonna notice that, oh man, it is just superior build quality. Superior build quality. The titanium is bead blasted, and I'm very interested in getting their glass blasting. After this review, I'll send it in and give you a review of the glass blasting. We have, this is the titanium. You can see I got a snail right there. It gives it character. It says Chris Reeves, the Chris Reeve logo. Then Idaho made. That's right, they're made here in the United States. Another logo. And give you a look at this bead. This is how it comes from the factory. There's your spacer. It's got one back spacer. And then, yeah. Centering, we'll check the centering. Pretty close. I'm off a little bit off of the scale, but the tolerances are so tight. As soon as you put everything together, it just kind of holds its position, it holds its spot. So yeah, action. Can thumb flick it. Let's see if we can get it on camera. I cannot middle finger flick my Umnumzaan. All right, it does have what is marketed as a glass breaker right here, but we all know it's just a front flipper or a detent breaker. I'll get more into that, why I call it that, here in a second. So yeah, Chris Reeves Umnumzaan. This is the Tonto variation. This is the Tonto blade. I keep saying variation. Sometimes as humans we like get drawn on a word and we use it over and over again. It's got a very deep and high hollow grind, and I love the shape of their American Tontos that Chris Reeve does. It just looks like a bull nose, and so yeah, really nice. The clip, argument to be made against the clip here, and I will make that argument for sure. But anyways, as a reviewer, I'm going to try and tell you all the uses and stuff that I use the knife for, practicality, hard work, hard use, and I gotta tell you, I was very impressed with this knife. I have a small story. I had some jeans. All my jeans that rip up or get frayed or something like that, I cut them up and I make small rags out of them. T-shirts as well. And I was using this knife to do that one night. Before Christmas, I was like, I gotta cut up my jeans, and I tried to pierce into some jeans with this f5.5, and this is just not a piercer, so I was already using the wrong knife. I could have grabbed any other knife, but I grabbed this one, and I was like trying to cut through jeans, and it was cutting, don't get me wrong, the knife was sharp, but the blade wasn't made for such a task. But this, I stuck it in, you know, good denim jeans, nothing to be messed with. And this thing just sliced right through it. And that's whenever I started opening up my eyes to how well the blade shape was thought out. Okay. But yeah, we'll get more into that. When I first got this knife off the secondary market, I think I paid $450 for it. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of dollars for American-made knife. And then you got people... and S45VN, which is a really good steel so far. I like it. But not ever handling a Chris Reeve knife, I didn't know what to expect. I was just like, oh yeah, sweet. I watched a couple of reviews and I was like, this is gonna be great. Then I got it in hand and I was very disappointed and shocked because I wasn't used to the action. I'm used to this. You know, fast action, reverse flick, drop shutty, Riot made knives. That's what I was used to. I'm trying to pull out another knife to give you an example. like this. I had a 229. That was a very robust titanium tumbled knife with a hollow grind. So this is kind of what I was expecting, you know. I was expecting this out of a knife. I was expecting this out of an action. I was expecting even something like this maybe. But that's not fair, because all of these knives that I just showed you run on bearings, except for this one. And I have, this one has a really good action as well, and it runs on washers, as you see. So, this is very different. This is miles different than what I was expecting, and I think that's where I finally had a breakthrough. The first 2 days I had this knife, I got a very, I wouldn't even say a callus, but definitely put some extra leather on that part of my thumb. And in those 2 days of first having this knife, I considered selling it. And then I read another forum that said, oh, it's the hydraulic-iness of it. You're not used to it. You know, just get used to it. And I was like, I shouldn't have to. You've heard this before because a lot of other people have said it. I shouldn't have to get used to a knife, opening it and closing it. I was kind of complaining. But then I stuck with it because I was like, no, I got an Umnumzaan. Why am I complaining? I have an Umnumzaan. And I think what was killing it for me right here was this this frame lock right here. This part right here, it just kind of eats away at your thumb. It's like sharpened for the most part. It's like a secondary blade. But no, and then I decided to tough it out, man. Come on, man. I got an Umnumzaan. It's a Chris Reeve knife. When am I ever going to have another opportunity like this? I know they come up all the time on the secondary, but this one is in the S45 VN steel. I'm just going to roll with it. And honestly, the more I carried it, the more I realized this is not what knives are designed for. I mean, technically these are, because they run on bearings and, you know, they have this drop shuttiness. This isn't what they're, this is not the design. This is not the purpose for having a knife to just all day. Don't get me wrong, I do it. I still do it, especially because I have these beauties, you know. So yeah, fidget factor is real, don't get me wrong, but that's not how you should measure a knife. So I got used to it. Anytime I would use this knife, or I would carry it with purpose. I would carry it and go into it knowing I'm not just going to be playing with my knife in my office or at my desk and just like using a fidget toy. This is a knife, and whenever I go to take it out, I'm going to do it with purpose. And then I fell in love with it. Then I really started to see the actual purpose and where my initial impressions, where my initial expectations lied. And I got past that, and I finally just really fell in love with this knife, breaking it apart, seeing how it was made, using it for myself. The only thing on this knife that I haven't really used is the glass breaker, so I can't sit here and tell you for sure that this is gonna bust your car window out when you need it to or anything like that. But yeah, cutting with this thing is a dream. The hollow grind is very high, so there's a lot of material that gets passed through, that gets sliced through by the time you come to the full thickness of the blade, and that's awesome. Another thing that I was very off put by when I first got this knife was actually the tanto. I had no idea that it was made, and I think somewhere I read that the tanto was made for like scraping and a little bit of prying. Like you can do that with this because of how robust the tip is. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get it zoomed in. Because of how robust the tip is, and because of how far, because this is all one bevel. I gotta get a pen or something to show you. So it's all one bevel from this portion right here. Sorry, I'm clicking the pen. From this portion right here of the knife to the very tip, all of this is one bevel, and you have to sharpen it accordingly. So I only have sharpened from here to here, the primary blade, I forget what this part's called. One of my buddies in my group chat, he knows the proper word for it. But yeah, so this primary edge, that's the only thing that I've sharpened at 20 degrees. And let me tell you guys, this thing is super easy to sharpen. This S45 and whatever heat treat that they're using is golden. Like it's really good, because I've sharpened these 20 CV knives and it's very difficult to sharpen. This is an L-Max. L-Max I find very easy to sharpen. I only have one knife in it. Let's see, this is S35VN, one of my favorite steels. And this is super easy to sharpen as well, but this one is right up there, like as far as ease of sharpening for me, as sharpening S35VN steel. So that was a huge plus. The sharpening, taking this thing to a sharpener is just majestic. I love it. Putting an edge on it, I have not had to resharpen it. Maybe stropped it once. I've definitely stropped the primary bevel, but yeah, I was having some difficulty. We're planting trees on campus. I work for a university, and we planted a lot of trees this last season, in the fall season, and the trees, they come balled up in burlap, and you have to cut away at the burlap in order to, once you get the tree planted in the hole, the tree's there, and then you have to uncover the burlap so that way we can soak it with water and stuff like that. So I tested every single knife except for, I had this knife, but I don't think I tried it, because my first experience, I took this one out and this one worked very well. Okay, this worked excellent, but the bearings are what got in the way. So the next knife that I tested was my Spyderco Slush Buoy, and this works very well, but being just a flat grind and being a drop point, I would fall out of my cuts a lot, and you guys know what that means. I also tried my 0640, and the same issue. It's a lot longer of a point. It's more of like a stiletto, shape, but I would still fall out of my cuts. And so finally, taking the Umnumzaan, this was the champion of cutting through burlap, because of the hollow grind, because of the washers, the phosphorus bronze washers. Holy cow, y'all, it was just too easy. It just tore through that burlap. So this is what I would, when I knew we were going out to plant trees, this is what I would carry, this right here. So yeah, cutting was great. The action is now better. It's broken in. I've taken it apart since, and I've added Gunny Glide and the grease to it, so it's running on 2 separate mediums for what would you call it? 2 separate mediums. I don't know. Maybe I've got the wrong word in my head. But anyways, that is neither here nor there. So yeah, this knife is great, and it's huge. This knife is huge. Let's do some size comparisons. So you guys are at somewhat of an angle, but it's pretty much true. It's still pretty true to size. So let's compare it next to the Slush Buoy. I'm gonna do pivot to pivot comparisons. As you can see, it is larger than the Slush Buoy. It's a frame lock as well. This one runs off of phosphorus bronze washers as well. Let's compare it to the 0640, pivot to pivot. On this one, I think the blade is just a little bit longer by, like, it may even be the exact same. It's hard to tell, but it does stick out a little bit longer. Let's try it with this ZT Hinderer collaboration, the 0393. There we go. It's hard to remember all of the nomenclature. You see, these two are roughly the same size, and I love this knife right here as well. I didn't think I'd love it as much as I actually do, but man, this thing is a workhorse of a knife. S35VN is my favorite steel so far. We'll see. Let's compare it next to a smaller knife. Compare it next to an Apache by Pinion Knives. We'll compare it next to a Sharpie. This is not a real Sharpie, this is a Marksall Sharpie, but same almost style, size. We'll compare it next to a Demco 8020S, if you've handled one of these. It's not fair to compare anything to the 20. the Demco 20 in any variation. I know this is the slim, but still, it's not fair because this thing is just a hulk of a knife. Yeah, love this thing. Let's see what else. We can do the 80-20.5 clip point, and we can do the 80-20.5 shark's foot. There we go. As you can see, they get shorter. So not a small knife by any means, right? But then this is what I wanted to show you. This is what I referred to earlier. I love this knife I'm about to show you guys. This is the perfect little EDC fixed blade. And look at how much smaller it is than the Umnumzaan. This is a full-size fixed blade. Well, I wouldn't say full-size fixed blade, but it is a full-size knife that I can get my hand around. And yeah, it's not all that. It's not all that huge. Like, even with the sheath, it's still small. And then final comparison, we'll do it too for shits and gigs. This is the Benchmade Vector. As you can see, these are very similar looking knives. And I love these two knives because, I mean, I love the Vector. I seriously think this is Benchmade's most underrated knife, and I think that's because at the price range that this knife is at, you can get something else. Spyderco related, you can get something else Benchmade related, and the spring assist isn't for everybody, right? That's not for everybody. But anyways, this is a very underrated knife. I love this thing. This one actually also worked very well with the burlap, but that's because of the hollow grind. But yeah, I did have to strop this one up. I did have to hone it up because some of the burlap had nails in it, rusted nails that keep the burlap kind of crossed together, and then you'd slip a nail through there. And I was trying to cut through burlap, and I was like, how come I'm not cutting through it? Well, guess what? This whole edge was trying to saw through a rusty nail, so I kind of ruined the edge for a couple of days on that one. But yeah, guys, let's see. Chris Reeves Umnumzaan. A fantastic workhorse of a knife. I've tried it, I've used it, and I swear by it. This is my apocalypse knife right here. Okay, because what I can do is the tools that you saw in here to break it down, I can throw that in a little microfiber cloth, or I can throw it in a little pouch and throw it in my go bag, my getaway bag or whatever, and then I have service for a lifetime for the most part with this thing. And yeah, they have great customer warranty. Sorry, I got to get this out of the shop. That's the Chavez. This is for sale, by the way. Chavez Street Tonto version. So anyways, I love this knife. I think the next Chris Reeve knife that I want, I think I either want a small Sabenza or a small Inkosi. Blade shape doesn't necessarily matter, but Tonto preferred, because I think I do swear by these knives. I do love this knife. The S45 that this one is made out of is just completely mind-bogglingly good. It's so good. But anyways, guys, that is my high winds full review of this man right here. This is the boss. Okay, there's a reason why it's called the boss, because seriously, this rides in your pocket. I guess I can speak on that. This clip is just it's not the best. It's good. I don't even care. It's not a deep pocket carry clip. I don't care for deep pocket carry, but gosh, this clip is just right here is where it rips up your jeans. Right here is where it rips up your jeans. Right here is where it rips up your jeans, and it's just, it's a saw. It's a mini hacksaw for your pocket. So get an MXG clip, whether it's deep carry or whether it's just his I can't even remember what other kind of carry it is, but the shallow carry one that's kind of the same profile, get that one. I need to get a new one anyways. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything, so let's go through it together from top to bottom. We've covered the Tonto, We have not talked about the harpoon shape, which is gorgeous, by the way. This just blade profile. This knife is so photogenic as well. I'll talk about that. Anytime you take a picture with an Umnumzaan and you post it on Instagram, you're gonna get likes. So there's that. It's a fan favorite. Everybody loves the Umnumzaan. It's everybody's grail. This was my grail, I should say, and it was my grail, and the action almost ruined it for me until I manned up, so to speak. It does have the lock interface we didn't talk about. It's the lock interface is a ceramic ball bearing. I'm gonna try and get in there. Come on, baby. There it is. There's a ceramic ball bearing right there. You do have to grease that up a little. And the over travel stop is this right here. This is the over travel stop. So yeah, that's the detent ball and the lock interface, which is completely genius. That's awesome. Trying to see the titanium. This lanyard was bought by my wife for Christmas. So yeah, guys, the Chris Reeves Umnumzaan. The Chris Reeve Knives Umnumzaan is just a fantastic workhorse of a knife. If you can get one, get one. The Tonto might not be for everybody. It is for me. I love Tontos. I don't plan on sharpening this. I don't need to right now. Like I said, I just strop it up, and it gets a little bit of glue from tape and a bunch of other stuff, but it's fine. If I need to get it sharpened, I'm more than happy to send it. But this is not necessarily supposed to be sharp. I mean, it is sharp and it will stay sharp for a while, but this is more meant for like piercing and scraping, which I've never really done, honestly. I haven't scraped with this knife at all. But once you stab, like let's say you're opening up a bag, you stab it in there and you start cutting, that hollow grind is gonna do all the cutting. The Tonto, not so much, but the Tonto is really good for these utility draw cuts. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. You all have a good day. High Winds EDC is back.